All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakal, Quitash. All right. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the Bible, of the book. All right, we are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of, man. All right, we come week in and week out to prophesy the downfall and the destruction of America. All right, because in the Bible, America is known as Babylon the Great, or the great daughter of Babylon, or Mystery Babylon. All right, and according to biblical prophecy, Mystery Babylon, or the great daughter of Babylon, is going to be destroyed and wiped off the face of this earth by nuclear fire, by thermonuclear destruction in this third world war. All right, and we've been out here for years and years and years and years, man, prophesying this unto you. All right, and now it's made clear as day, man. If you don't live under a rock, you can see that America's going to be destroyed and wiped off the face of this earth, man. You hear about World War News 3, World War III news every day, man. All right. Every day you hear about wars and rumors of wars, man. Especially rumors of World War III, man. And we have been prophesying and telling you about this third world war, man. About America's destruction, the downfall of Esau, Edom, this damn devil, the so-called white man. All right. But anyway, let's get into 2nd Hedges, the 8th chapter. Let's start off with that and see where we lead off, man. All right. Because, you know, Yahweh Shai is only coming back for a small remnant. All right, a small chosen.
How you doing?
How are you? What's going on?
Nothing much. I like how you set up everything.
Thank you.
And you're delivering the message of God.
Yes. The message of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.
I'm offended if I say I smoke. But I just want to pay attention to what you're saying.
Yeah, just step back a little bit. All right, because I don't want to breathe in your smoke. All right, you shouldn't be smoking. All right, you shouldn't be smoking. That's how you destroy your body. All right, it tells you that in 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter. Those that destroy their body, him shall the Lord destroy. All right, so, you know, all right, let's keep going, right? All right, so this is 2nd Hedges, the 8th chapter. All right, let's get it. 2nd Hedges 8:1. It says, and he answered me saying, the Most High has made this world for many, all right, but the world to come for few. All right, this current age, this current world was made for many, all right, but the world to come, which is the kingdom of heaven, all right, was only made for a few, which is a small remnant, also known as the elect, the 1/3 in the Bible, all right, the Israel of God, all right, because only the elect is only of the nation of Israel, which is the people on this sign right here, the Negro, Latino, Native American men. All right, those are the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of. All right, and that's who Yahweh Shai is coming back to save. All right, the small remnant, a small portion, all right, of the nation of Israel. He's not coming back to save every Israelite, man. You know, every Israelite was delivered through the Red Sea during the time of Moses. But this time, the second time the Lord is going to stretch out his hand is only going to be for a small remnant, a small chosen. All right, we're going to get into that, all right, as we, you know, further break down the scriptures, right? So it says, 2nd Hedges 8:1, it says, and he answered me saying, the Most High, Yahweh, has made this world for many, but the world to come for few. Again, the world to come is talking about the kingdom of heaven. All right, that world to come, the kingdom of heaven, was made for a few. Let's read it again. All right, and he answered me saying, the Most High has made this world for many, but the world to come for few. The Most High Yahweh has made this world, this current age, for many, but the world to come for few. Many are called, but few are chosen. See, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is only going to redeem a small portion of few. All right, known as the elect. All right, the Israel of God, also known as the 1/3. All right, let's keep reading. All right, it says, I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mold whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. All right, even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved. You see? There be many created, but few shall be saved. All right, the world to come is only but for a few. All right, many are called, but few are chosen. All right, and that few is the elect. All right, and all of the elect is of the nation of Israel. All right, no other nation is of that few. No other nation can be saved. All right, only the Negro, Latino, Native American men. All right, which are the Israelites, man. Only the Israelites could be saved. All right, matter of fact, let's prove that with all right, let's prove that with Isaiah 45. All right, Isaiah 40, I think it's Isaiah 45. Let's get it. All right. All right, yeah, this is Isaiah 45 and 4. It says, for Jacob my servant's sake, all right, for Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect. Yeah, all right, Israel is the Negro, Latino, Native American, man. That's who the elect is, man. All right, the elect is Israel, man. That's the chosen nation, and then you have the elect within the elect, man. All right, which is the 144,000 and the great multitude that follows behind the 144,000. You understand? All right. So let's go back into 2nd Ezra. Let's start from the top again. All right. It says, and he answered me, saying, the Most High Yahweh has made this world for many, but the world to come for few. The world to come, again, is the kingdom of heaven, and it was only made for a few, a chosen elect. All right, a chosen elect of the nation of Israel, the Negro, Latino, Native American men. Right? It says, I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mold whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh off of. Yeah, and that gold is talking about the elect. All right, did not Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai say in Zechariah the 13th chapter, all right, that the 1/3, the elect, is going to be tried like the gold in the fire? All right, we are that gold, all right, that's being tried. That's the elect, man. All right, so it says, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved. That's right. There be many be created. All right. Many people are created. Look at all, there's over 8-something billion people in this world. Right? But few shall be saved, which is the 144,000, all right, spoken about in Revelation, the 7th chapter, and the great multitude that follows behind the 144,000, which all those people are also Israelites, man. All right, none of those people are Edomites. None of those people are Ishmaelites or Elamites, right, or Canaanites, right, or Japhites, right? None of those people are Cushites. All right, all of the elect, the 144, and the great multitude that follows behind the 144, all right, they're all Israelites. Only Israelites can be saved. Why do you think the chariots are known as the chariots of Israel? They're not known as the chariots of Edom, right? They're not known as the chariots of Canaan or the chariots of Elam, right? Because only Israelites are going to get beamed up into those chariots to escape the nuclear fire that's going to hit here in America, man. You understand? All right, so let's get Isaiah 45 again, all right, because Israel's that elect, all right? The Negro, Latino, Native American men, right? So it says Isaiah 45 and 4, it says, for Jacob my servant's sake and Israel my elect, I have even called thee by thy name and have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. All right, so the point is Israel is the Lord's elect. All right, the people on this sign right here, the Negro, Latino, Native American men. All right, 1/3 of the Negro, Latino, Native American men is going to be saved and delivered from the nuclear destruction that's going to hit here in America in this third world war. All right, so matter of fact, let's read that one more time. 2nd Ezra, all right, 8 8 and 1 through 3, right? And then we're going to grab some precepts, all right? So it says, Second Ezra, chapter 8 and 1. It says, and he answered me, saying, the Most High Yahweh has made this world for many, but the world to come for few. The world to come, all right? The kingdom of heaven for few, man. Only a few is going to be saved. Is going to enter into the next world, which is the world of Yahweh Shai, which is the kingdom of Israel, starting with Yahweh Shai, man. All right, that's the real new world order. All right. So it says, and he answered me, saying, the Most High has made this world for many, but the world to come for few. I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. All right, which is the elect. All right, that's the gold is the elect, man. All right, it says, even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved. And again, that few that's going to be saved is known as the elect in the Bible. All right, the 1/3, the Israel of God. All right, the Negro, Latino, Native American man of the Most High Yahweh. All right, the 1/3. All right, so also let's go later into this chapter, right? So it says, this is 2nd Ezra 8 and 41. It says, for as the husbandman soweth much seed upon the ground, and planteth many trees, and yet the things that is sown good in his season cometh not up, neither does all that is planted take root. Even so is it of them that are sown in the world. They shall not all be saved. Yeah, everyone is not going to be saved. The world to come is only for a few. All right? Not everyone is going to be saved. Mostly everybody on this earth is going to be killed and destroyed. All right? There's over 8.5 billion people on this earth. All right? And when Yahweh Shai comes back, all right, with the angels on chariots, billions and billions and billions of people are going to die. Right? When you read Isaiah the 66th chapter, what does it say? All right, for the slain of the Lord shall be many. All right, meaning the killing of the Lord is going to be many. All right, does it not say in Luke 12 and 49 that the Lord cometh with fire? And what will I if it already be kindled? All right, you know, that's Yahweh Shai speaking. All right, so again, let's read it again. 2nd Ezra 8 and 41. For as the husbandman soweth much seed upon the ground, and planteth many trees, and yet the thing that is sown good in his season cometh not up, neither does all that is planted take root. Even so is it of them that are sown in the world. They shall not all be saved. Yeah, not every Israelite is going to be saved. Only a small chosen, all right, that was predestined from the beginning, man, is going to be saved, man. All right, so let's continue to prove that. All right, let's continue to prove that. Let's get the book of Isaiah, the 10th chapter. All right, and then we're going to go into Revelation 7, if it be the Lord's will, right? So let's get if it be Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai's will, right? So let's get all right, this is Isaiah, all right, 10 and 20, right? It says, and it shall come to pass in that day. What day? This day, this time now, all right, the last days, all right, the last seconds, the last nanoseconds that we're living in right now, all right? It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more shall stay upon him that smote him, talking about Esau, right? It says, but shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel in truth. All right, the remnant shall return. Look up the definition of the word remnant. It means a small portion. All right, a small portion is only a small portion is going to return back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Not every Israelite, not every Negro, Latino, Native American man, woman, and child is going to return back to the Lord, man. Because that's how the Lord set it up from the beginning, man. All right, the Lord always had a predestined elect, and the Lord always had a predestined people that was allotted to be destroyed, man. All right, so it says, listen, let's read again from Isaiah 10 and 20. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, who is Israel? All right, the Negro, Latino, Native American man. You are the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You understand? Without a shadow of a doubt, with great certainty and with great surety, I tell you this, man. All right? So it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, which is talking about Esau, right? But shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, the Holy One of Israel in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power Yahweh the Most High, right? It says, for though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. Yeah, only a remnant, all right? Even though the Israelites, all right, even though the nation of Israel be as the sand of the sea, meaning, there's too many of them. They can't be numbered, all right? Mostly everybody on this earth, there's over 8.5 billion people on this earth. Probably half of that, 4 billion of these people on this earth are probably Israelites, man. All right, the scriptures say that you can't even measure a fourth part, all right, of every Israelite. All right, if you break up the nation of Israel in quarters, you can't even measure a quarter of Israel, man. All right, that's how many Israelites are on this earth. All right, many real Israelites are on this earth, and they're all scattered throughout the four corners of this earth, man. All right, so it says the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob. All right, the remnant of Jacob. Jacob represents the nation of Israel. All right, because the entire nation of Israel comes out of the loins of Jacob. All right, so the remnant of Jacob is not the remnant of Edom, or the remnant of Elam, or the remnant of Canaan, or the remnant of Cush. No, the remnant of Jacob is going to return to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Right? Come on, man. It says the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea. Yeah, because you can't count the sand of the sea, man. You can't count every speckle of sand. That's how Israel is, man. As the sand of the sea. There's too many of us on this earth. But the Lord say, even though Israel be as the sand of the sea, right? Yet a remnant of them shall return. A remnant meaning a small portion, all right? So only a small portion, a chosen few, is going to receive the world to come, which is the kingdom of heaven, which is what we read earlier in 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. Let's get it again, all right? So this is 2nd Ezra 8 and 1. It says, and he answered me saying, the Most High Yahweh has made this world for many, but the world to come for a few. The world to come is the kingdom of heaven, all right? And it's for a few, and all those few are Israelites, man. All right, they're not of any other nation, man. All right, that few is talking about Israelites, man. All right, only the Israel can receive the kingdom of heaven. All right, what do you think the disciples meant when they asked Yahweh Shai, are you now going to restore, all right, the kingdom to Israel? The kingdom of heaven is rulership of this planet Earth. All right, it wasn't time yet for rulership to be brought back to Israel, man. All right, we still had another 2,000 something years to go. All right, to live in hell, man. All right, so let's also keep proving that with let's get Romans 9, all right, and 27, right? Let's get Romans 9 and 27. All right. All right. Romans 9 and 27. All right. It says, as Esaias is the Greek way of saying Isaiah. All right. So when you see Apostle Paul, right, he's quoting Isaiah. He's quoting what I just read in Isaiah. Right? Because during the time of the New Testament, where were they reading from? They were reading from the Old Testament because the New Testament wasn't written yet. All right? So it says, showing you that the New Testament is based off the Old Testament, man. You understand? All right? So it says, Romans 9 and 27, it says, Esaias, which is Isaiah, all right? Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel. Yeah, that's who Isaiah cried for, all right? He didn't cry for no other nation, all right? No other nation was he concerned about, man, all right? The only nation that he was concerned about is the nation of Israel. Same thing with Esdras, man, all right? He was only sorry and worried about the nation of Israel, man, when you read the second book of Esdras. Right? He said, what the Ezra, let's get that real quick, right? Let's get that real quick, right? This is 2nd Ezra 8 and 15, all right? It says, now therefore, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, I will speak touching man in general, all right? Thou knowest best, but touching thy people whose sake I am sorry, all right? And for thy inheritance, whose cause I mourn, and for Israel, for whom I am heavy, and for Jacob, for whose sake I am troubled. All right. So he said, out of all the people on this world, he said, I'm only sorry and troubled for the nation of Israel, man. I'm not troubled and sorry and worried about any other nation. Right? Again, he said, but touching thy people, for whose sake I am sorry. Who's thy people? Who was Ezra's people? All right, the nation of Israel, the Israelites, man, because he himself was an Israelite. All right, if I'm not mistaken, of the tribe of Levi, right? It says, but touching thy people, for whose sake I am sorry, and for thy inheritance, all right, for whose cause I mourn, and for Israel, from whom I am heavy, and for Jacob, for whose sake I am troubled, all right? Therefore will I begin to pray for thee, for myself, and for them, all right? So his prayer and his worry was only to the nation of Israel, man, all right? And the same thing with Isaiah, all right? His concern was only about the nation of Israel, man. All right, and our concern, the prophets of today, is only concerned about the elect of the nation of Israel. We're only out here for the elect because as I am reading, all right, as I am prophesying, right, the prophecy is that only a small remnant, a small chosen is going to return to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai and receive the next world to come, which is the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Yahweh Shai, all right, which is the kingdom of Israel, starting with Yahweh Shai. Right? So let's go back, all right? In Romans 9 and 27, and Lord willing, you know, this is edifying, all right? You're being edified, right? It says Romans 9 and 27, it says, Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. Only a small remnant, all right? Only a small portion of the Israelites are going to be saved. Not every Israelite is going to be saved, all right? Yahweh Shai, Yahweh told, this is what the Lord is telling Ezra, man. All right, that only a small portion is going to be saved, man. All right, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is not worried about all of Israel, man. All right, we know that according to prophecy, which is what I'm reading right now, only a small remnant is going to be chosen and saved, and that's who we're out here for. All right, to reel in the elect. When they hear this word, they're going to take heed to it, man. You know. So let's continue to get that in Zechariah 13. Because that was also prophecy in Zechariah 13, man. All right? Let's get that, man. All right? Let me take a sip of this water real quick. All right, so this is Zechariah 13, right? Starting at verse 8, it says, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein." Yeah, 2 parts, meaning 2/3 of the nation of Israel. 2/3 of you Negroes, you Latinos, and Native Americans are going to be cut off and die. All right, it was always predestined from the beginning for 2/3 of you Israelites to be cut off and die. All right, because everything is predestined. The book of life is already written. All right, did not the Lord say that he declared the end from the beginning? So you have a predestined chosen that was chosen to be saved, and then you have a predestined ones that were predestined to be destroyed, man. You know, the Lord set most of the Israelites to be destroyed, man. All right. So it says, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein." So 2/3 are going to be cut off and die, but the 1/3 shall be left therein, meaning they're going to be saved and redeemed. That's that small remnant that we're reading about that's going to return back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, right? And it says, verse 9, it says, "And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried." Yeah, because as we live on this earth, we go through hell, man. All right, we go through many sufferings. All right, that's the fiery trial. All right, especially if you're in this truth, man. All right, because that's when the demons really start attacking you. All right, when you come back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right, the scriptures say, "When thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy heart for temptation." All right, matter of fact, let's get that. All right, because when you're in the world, these demons ain't attacking you. They ain't doing nothing to you. All right, you in the world, that is the demon, you know. But when you come back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, that's when the demons start attacking you for real. That's when the real hell comes. All right, see, the men of the Lord, they go through much trouble. All right, whether you see it or you don't see it, man. You know, that's the fiery trial, that fiery walk, man. All right, matter of fact, what was I going to get? All right, let's read that again. All right, let's read that again. All right, so it says, Zechariah 13 and 9, it says, "And I," matter of fact, yeah, I remember what I was going to get. I lost my train of thought for a second. Forgive me, right? So second Ezra, the 2nd chapter, right? Give me a second. Not 2nd Ezra, 2nd chapter. All right, Ecclesiasticus, all right, also known as the book of Sirach, the 2nd chapter, all right, verse 1, it says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, prepare thy soul for temptation." That's right. When you come back into the remembrance of who you are, when you come back into the remembrance of the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, now you are to prepare your soul for temptation. All right, that's when the true walk, the true fiery trial begins, man. Because when you out in the world, you're not really suffering like that. I mean, yeah, you got our people suffering out here, living in the slums, in the ghettos, right? Living paycheck to paycheck, right? Working 2 or 3 jobs, right? But, you know, the demons ain't attacking them like that, man. All right, when you come worship Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, when you come to this truth, this knowledge, this wisdom, all right, that's when they start to fuck with you heavy, man. All right, real heavy. All right, they be all up in your mind, right, trying to mess with your thoughts, right, you know. All right. Again, second Esdras 2:1. All right, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, prepare thy soul for temptation, right? So you gotta prepare to handle these demons, man. Prepare thy soul for temptation, prepare for hell, prepare for a hard walk. All right. And the Lord told that to Esdras in the previous chapter 7, man. All right, but anyway, let's go back to Zechariah, the 13th chapter. I'll start at verse 8 again, right? So it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. All right, 2 parts of the nation of Israel, 2/3 of you Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans are going to be cut off and die. You're going to be destroyed. You're going to get swallowed and engulfed by nuclear destruction. All right? So it says 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. 1/3 of the nation of Israel, 1/3 of you Negroes, you Latinos, and Native Americans are going to escape that nuclear destruction. All right, you're going to get beamed up into the chariots. All right, what this world calls a so-called UFO. They're known as chariots in the Bible. How else you think we're going to be saved and delivered from the nuclear destruction? All right, and the scriptures say the righteous shall scarcely be saved. We're going to get out of here in the nick of time, man. Right when those nuclear missiles are hitting, that's when the chariots are going to beam us up, man. Straight up. All right, that's in Isaiah the 26th chapter. All right, also the book of Revelation as well, man. All right, matter of fact, let's get that. All right, Isaiah 26 is either 20 or 26. Let's get it. All right, Isaiah 26 and 20. It reads, come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers. The chambers is talking about the chariots. All right, what this world calls the so-called UFO. All right. So it says, come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. Yeah, we're going to hide ourselves in the chariots for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. The indignation of the Lord, which is the nuclear destruction. All right, because after the nuclear destruction, all right, after the fire's gone out, right, after the fire's put out, we're going to come back down from those chariots and we're going to rule this planet Earth with Yahweh Shai, man. All right. So again, it says, come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, which is the chariots, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. For behold, the Lord Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth. All right. And that's going to be done by the nuclear destruction. Zechariah 3 and 8. All right, for all the earth shall be devoured by the fire of my jealousy, man. All right. So it says, for behold, the Lord Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. Yeah, because the Lord said the earth is exceedingly polluted with wickedness, man. That's second Esdras, the 15th chapter, the 6th verse. All right, for wickedness has exceedingly polluted this earth. All right, so all the earth has to be devoured by the fire of his jealousy because of the iniquities of the people on this earth, man. All right, so it says, for behold, the Lord Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for the iniquity, for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain. All right, but the point was in the verse above. All right, in the 20th verse, all right, the Lord said, come, my people, enter thou into the chambers, all right, until the Lord, hide thyself for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed, because we're going to hide, we're going to be safe in those chariots while this earth is getting burned up, all right, and after the fire is put out from the nuclear destruction, we're going to rule, we're going to come down from those chariots, man, and we're going to rule this planet Earth, starting with Yahweh Shai, first and foremost, man. all right? Because it's his kingdom. It's his planet, his rulership. And he's going to allow us to rule with him. He's going to share his throne with the 144,000. You understand? All right? So let's go back to where I was at, all right? Zechariah. Let's read that one more time, right? All right, Zechariah, the 13th chapter. Let's grab it. All right, Zechariah 13:8, it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. That's that small remnant, the third that's going to be left therein. All right, the few that's going to receive the next world to come, which is the world of Yahweh Shai, the world of Israel, starting with Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, all right, starting with our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, because it's his kingdom, his planet, his rulership, and he's just going to share his throne with us. That's the love that Yahweh Shai has for us. Think about it. His throne, he's going to share with the elect, bro. How humble you have to be, how kind and merciful you have to be, all right, to share your throne, man. To share your throne with the elect, man. That's crazy, man. Call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. The water, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. All right, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Ratazah, I am of the elect, man. Straight up, man. We get to rule this planet Earth. Shoot, we get to rule the entire universe. All right, the entire universe. Did not the Lord say, in my Father's house there are many mansions? What do you think he meant by that, man? All right, all the planets in the universe, man. We're going to be on different planets, all that, man. What you think the Lord created stars and moons and all type of planets and galaxies for nothing, bro? That's for us, man. That's for us, all right, to have fun on, to enjoy, right? Never-ending joy forever. You understand? All right? Because it's gonna be impossible to run out of fun, to run out of things to do, man. You know? It's gonna be never-ending joy in the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, we're gonna have planets, we're gonna have whole galaxies to ourselves, man. Straight up. All right? All right, so again, let's read Zechariah 13:8 one more time through 9, all right? It says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. That's that fiery walk. All right, that's that narrow passage that we have to go through. All right, you got to go through the narrow before you can enter into the broad, right? And the path of truth is so narrow that only one man could go in at once. All right, that's how hard this walk is, man. All right, the scriptures say on one side is like a deep water, and on the other side is like a fire, man. That's how hard this walk is, man. All right, you know, this walk ain't easy, man. All right, it's a narrow path, but you got to go through that narrow path to enter into the broad, man. All right, because you will appreciate it more. All right, you will appreciate the kingdom of heaven more, man. You know, you're going to be like, all this was nothing, man. Because everything that we go through on this side, it ain't going to be nothing compared to the kingdom of heaven, man. Straight up. Nothing that we go through here on this earth, all the hell, all the misery, all the sorrow, man, all that is going to be forgotten about in the kingdom of heaven. We're not even going to remember the sorrow, the pain, the suffering, the misery, the anguish that we went through here in America, all right, on this earth, right? In the kingdom of heaven, we're not going to remember all that, man. The Lord said, behold, I make all things new, right? We're not going to remember nothing in our past life. We're not going to remember Esau, man. None of that, right? All right? Verse 9 again, it says, and I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined and will try them as golden is tried. That's this walk, this hell that we go through, right? And the Lord, what the Lord is actually doing, he's cleaning us, man. He's cleaning the hell out of us, man. He's spit shining us, ding, right? Cleaning us off, man, right? So he could prep us and prepare us for the kingdom, man. All right, that's that fiery trial, right? Because when you try gold in the fire, what are you doing? You're getting rid of all the impurities. And that's what the Lord is doing with us. He's getting rid of all the impurities, man. You know? All right, it says, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, showing that we will call on the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. But you got bugged out Israelites like IUIC, man. All right, IUIC is bugged out is all hell, bro. Straight up. Talking about the name don't matter. But when you read the scriptures say that the elect shall call upon his name. That's how the doctrine starts. The foundation of this truth begins with Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Right? Do not the scriptures say that he is the chief cornerstone? So this truth, this gospel is built off Yahweh Shai. You have to have Yahweh Shai. You have to have the name of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to build and grow, man. To teach this truth. Duh. Come on, man. Talking about we ain't got the name. Yahweh Shai is the chief cornerstone. Right? Off him is this truth built. You know? This temple is built, which is a spiritual temple, you know? All right? It says, they shall call on my name, I will hear them, I will say it is my people, and they shall say the Lord Yahweh is my God. All right? So, let me get, let's get that in the book of Hedges, man. All right, that fiery trial, right? Which is that narrow path. Yahweh Shai talked about it, did he not? All right, did not Yahweh Shai say in Matthew the 7th chapter? Matter of fact, let's get it. All right, Matthew 7. Right, Matthew 7. Let's get it. Matthew 7 and 13, right? Let's grab it. Matthew 7 and 13. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate. Yeah, the straight gate, man. That's what you want to go through. All right? You can't, you know, the word straight meaning, the word straight, S-T-R-A-I-T, right? Not straight as in, you know, you go straight, but straight, S-T-R-A-I-T, all right? Straight meaning a path of difficulty, all right? The Lord said, enter at the straight gate, enter into the path of difficulty, right? Because that's the way to the kingdom, man, all right? The kingdom of heaven is not some... Let me let this pass real quick, all right? You know, the way to the kingdom of heaven is not some easy walk, man. You know? In the second book of Ezra, the 7th chapter, which is what we're getting to read, it tells you that, you know, the path to the kingdom of heaven is difficult, man. It is very narrow. Only one man could go there at once. Narrow meaning it's a hard path to go through. It's not easy to get through it. It's not wide as hell where mad people could just enter in and just flood the gates. No, it's a path. It's narrow. You gotta walk like this into the kingdom of heaven, man. You know? All right. So let's continue. All right. This is Matthew 7 and 13. It says, "Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction." Yeah. All right. Broad is the way that leadeth into destruction, and that's the way most of these people are going. All right. The way to destruction. They're on the broad path right now. right? Mostly everybody in this world is doing the same thing, all right? That's that broad way, right? Let's get it. All right? Let me get it again. I lost the page, right? So it says, enter ye in at the straight gate. This is Matthew 7:13. Enter ye in at the straight gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there be which go in thereat. Yeah, just about everybody, you know, the 2/3. The 2/3 is entering in the broad gate, right? Many of them enter into that way, all right? But the elect, they enter in at the straight gate, all right? They choose to suffer, all right, for the name of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai's sake, for the kingdom, man. You know? It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Woo-hoo! You see? Going back again to what I started off with. All right, 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter, the 1st verse. All right, the world to come is for few. All right, and there be let's read it again. It says, and few there be that find it. Only a few going to find that narrow gate, that narrow path, that straight path. Right, straight meaning a path of difficulty. All right, a way of difficulty. Right. Shoot, we'll rather go through that hell now so we can get to heaven later, man. You got to go through hell to get to heaven, man. Right? We're going to read it, man. All right? So let's get it, man. All right? And that's that. Well, the reason why I'm reading that, because I read, you know, Zechariah 13 and 9. All right? The 1/3 that's going to be left therein, which is the elect that's going to be saved. Right? The Lord said he going to try them like the gold is tried. All right? Like how silver is refined. That's that narrow path, that straight path, man. You know? That hell. All right, that they go through in that straight path. You understand? Right? So let's get it. All right, 2nd Ezra. All right, 7. Because when you read 2nd Ezra, you know, it's the Lord, it's Ezra, the prophet, all right, having a conversation with the Heavenly Father through the angel Uriel. Right? So, you know, the Lord is like Ezra is asking Yahweh, you know, through the angel Uriel, like, why are people going through all this hell? Why are we at the bottom and all these other nations are ruling over us? All right, we don't possess, you know, an inheritance with this world. You know, we're nothing as a people. You know, you said we're your people and you love us, right? So why all these nations rule over us? They spoil us, right? Why do we go through this hell? And this was the answer, all right, that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, all right, Yahweh gave Ezra, man. All right, so let's get it. All right, 2nd Ezra, all right, the 7th chapter, starting at the 1st verse. It says, and when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night afore. All right. So the same angel came back to Ezra, man, which was the angel Uriel. Right. It says, and he said unto me, up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, speak on, my power. All right. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place. All right, the sea represents the kingdom of heaven. All right, the Lord said it is set in a wide place. Right, all right, but it might be deep. That it says the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow like a river. All right, so. You know, once you get to the kingdom of heaven, it's a wide place. You chilling. But to get there is a very narrow place. It's hard to get. You got to go through the hell before you get to the kingdom, man. You know? It says, again, it says, let's read from verse 1 again. It says, and when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night afore. And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my power. All right. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? All right. You see? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Woo! So you can't enter into the kingdom of heaven, all right, unless you go through that straight gate, meaning a path of difficulty. You got to go through hell before you can get into the kingdom, man. So that's why our people, all right, live in hell, man, all right, especially the elect, starting with the elect. You know, we got to go through that straight gate, that narrow path, all right. We were put here to suffer, man. All right, especially the elect. They suffer for the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You know, they suffer for Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, right? Because we want the kingdom, man. Shoot, we proud to suffer, man. You know, we find joy in suffering in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Shoot, if that's what it takes, if I gotta suffer for the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, then so be it, man. Because we want power, we want rulership, we want everything that comes with the kingdom, man. We don't want to cry anymore, right? We don't want to pain anymore. Mentally, physically, emotionally, right? We don't want to pain in any type of way no more. We want new bodies. We don't want to suffer no more, man. But hey, we'll rather, you know, choose to suffer now, all right, than to suffer later. Because those that are suffering now, which is the elect, they gonna be good later while everyone else is suffering. See, everyone else, they laughing now, they having fun, right? But they gonna cry later, they gonna suffer later, right? We suffering now, but we gonna laugh and we gonna enjoy later, right? Right? While everyone is suffering, eating each other's flesh through the famine, right? Killing each other, we gonna be chilling somewhere, wherever the Lord gonna have us, wherever Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai gonna have us, right? We might be a whole bunch of us chilling, right? Bunch of prophets just chilling inside of a cave somewhere, cooling on some canned food, whatever it might be, you know, some cooked food, whatever it might be, right? And we gonna be laughing, we gonna be praising Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. Straight up, like the scriptures say. Isaiah 65, that's a verse I always bring out all the time, man. Isaiah 65, all right? For my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart. Woo! You know, while everyone is crying and being ashamed, right, have a sorrowful heart, we gonna be praising Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai in joy, right? Come on, man. All right. So it says, starting from verse 3, 2nd Ezra 7:3, it says, And I said, Speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. All right. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it, which is the kingdom, right? It says, if he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Woo! Right? It says, there is also another thing. A city is builded, all right, and set upon a broad field. This city, all right, that is builded, that is set upon a broad field, represents the kingdom of heaven, right? It says, there is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall. That's right. Showing you that this walk is a dangerous walk. It's a gruesome walk. It's walking easy, man. You know, being a servant and a prophet of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, people think serving the Lord is some easy thing, man. You know? Especially these wacky-tacky Christians, man. You know, they don't got no demons messing with them because they're not the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord. You know? Come on, man. It says the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. So it's like you're on a small narrow walk, and you're balancing. You're trying to walk, and on one side is a deep water, and one side is a fire, man. So you're like, it's a dangerous place, man. The way to the kingdom of heaven is not easy, man. If you knew what the prophets, the true prophets and the servants go through, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, right, depression, right, constant hell is always happening to them, man. Whether they're losing their jobs, getting into a car accident, breaking bone, whatever, man, they still keep that faith in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, all right? Because we want the kingdom of heaven. We know, that we must go through this hell, but we still keep that faith in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. See, we're paying for things that we did in this life and things that we did in our past lives, all right? So it says, let's read it again. It says, there is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. So that's how small and narrow that path is to the kingdom of heaven. It's so narrow that only one man could go there in at once. All right, it's not multiple people walking in the same path, right? After someone goes in, you have to wait till he passes, and then another person could go in. Then you gotta wait till that person passes, right? It says, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. All right, let me get Matthew, the 3rd chapter. Let's see what's popping with that real quick, right? All right, Matthew 3:11. I got that. It says, I don't know why I got that one right there. Let me see. All right, I don't know why I had that right there, but anyway, it says, verse 8 again, it says, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man, which that city represents the kingdom of heaven, right? It says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? So we got to go through that hell. We got to go through that danger. All right, that path where there's a fire on one side and a deep water on another. All right, you got to go through the danger, the hell, all right, before you can enter into the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, that's the beauty of it, because we'll appreciate it even more. All right, imagine just entering to the kingdom of heaven and so easy that you're not going to appreciate it, man. So the Lord is putting us through this hell, man, so we can even, that's how much the Lord loves us, to put us through hell so that we can even appreciate it more. Come on, man. And the same thing that goes for Yahweh Shai too, man. Yahweh Shai gonna love ruling this planet Earth, and he was gonna be like, it was all worth it. Yahweh Shai gonna say to himself, it was worth dying on that cross for my people, because of what I now have, right? Come on, man. You know what he had to do, right? So it says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? All right, and the precept to that would be Zechariah 13:9, right? It says, let me see real quick. Let me get another precept real quick. All right. Yeah. All right. So it says Malachi, all right, 3:2. It says, but who may abide the day of his coming? Only the elect. Only the elect is going to be able to abide in the day of the coming of Yahweh Shai, right? When Yahweh sends his son Yahweh Shai down, right? So it says, but who may abide the day of his coming, and who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like the refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. Yeah, so what the Lord is doing, putting us through this hell, all right, is like he's cleaning us with soap, man. Yahweh Shai is that soap, man. That Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is that soap, the refiner's soap. We're being cleansed off, man. All right, so we can enter into the kingdom of heaven. All right, the Lord is cleaning us, taking all the impurities out of us, man. All right, going through this hell, right? That's why verse 9, again, it says, 2 Ezra 7:9, it says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And Yahweh Shai said, fear not, for it is your the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. So if he wants to give you the kingdom, he gonna put you through this hell, right? Come on, man. You gotta understand how much the Lord loves us. See, you might not understand now, but you're gonna understand later. Woo! All right? You might not see it now, but you're gonna see it later. You understand? Right? And it says, and I said, verse 10, and I said, it is so, Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. All right, so the Negro, Latino, Native American man, they got to go through hell, right? Even ones outside of this truth, all right? That's why they're in the slums, the ghettos at the bottom. They're drug addicts, right? Alcoholics, the white man beating them down to death. They're on Section 8, right? They could barely get by, right? They barely have anything, right? Because eventually all of Israel going to be saved too. So not just the elect going to have to go through hell, right? The ones outside in this world going through hell too, right? But the elect, they go through a special type of hell, man, because they got all types of demons on them, right? Right? But also the non-elect, you know, they go through hell too, because they eventually going to come back into the kingdom of heaven through the loins of the elect, right? The non-elect, all right? The 2/3, right? All right? It says, verse 10, it says, and I said, it is so, Lord, all right, Yahweh, all right, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion, because for their sakes I made the world. That's the reason why the Lord made this world, so that Israel could rule on this planet, and every other nation is going to be their slaves and subjects, man. The Lord made the world for our sake. All right, the sake of the nation of Israel. You understand? Right? It says, again, it says, and I said, it is so, Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion, because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that is now done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrows and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. Woo! All right, so we got to go through that painful hell, all right, to enter into the kingdom of heaven, right? It says, for the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. Let me let this pass. Right? It says, for the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. Yeah, because we were immortal at one time. until, you know, Eve committed wickedness, and she brought that wickedness to Adam, and Adam committed it. All right, all that wickedness, that witchcraft, and diving into philosophy and all that, man. All right. It says, if then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, that's so fire, right? Come on, man. Does that not answer your question, man? Right? It says, if then they live, it says if then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them, right? And the scriptures say that we labor to enter into rest, man. All right, we labor now to enter into rest, man. All right, we labor in this work, this truth. We labor for Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. And the Lord said, He is not a man to forget our works and labor of love, man. So the Lord sees everything we're doing. Everything that we do is not forgotten, man. The Lord sees our works. The Lord sees us trying, you know, because we fall short, but the Lord sees us trying, bro. You know, we keep the laws and the statutes. We do everything to the best of our ability. Read, study, you know. And a lot of us, you know, certain brothers do things better than other brothers, you know. It is what it is. Everybody got their certain amount of faith, the faith they have, you know. Brothers work. Everybody's different, man. Straight up. All right. It says, if then they live, it says, if then they that live labor not enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. All right. So we gotta labor, man. We gotta labor in this truth. Do this work. Come out here on the highways and hedges and teach, man. All right, and feed the sheep, like the Lord said. If you love me, feed my sheep. So we're out here, you know, trying to show and prove the Lord that we love him, man. You know, when we out here on the highways and hedges, all right, we're proving unto Yahweh, we're showing our faith, man. Right? We're pleasing the Most High when we come out here on the highways and hedges. Did not the Lord say, let's get that. What's that? Is that 1 Corinthians? Let's get it real quick. All right. The Lord said that we pleased him by the foolish. Yeah. Right. So it says right here, this is 1 Corinthians 1:20. It says, where is the wise? Where is the scribe? All right, where is the disputer of this world? Has not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world? Yeah, all right, for after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, all right, for after that, in the wisdom of the Most High Yahweh, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High Yahweh. It pleased the Most High Yahweh by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. Yeah, all right, because when we out here on the highways and hedges, we look foolish to the rest of the world, right? We look bugged out, right? But little do they know, they the ones that's bugged out. We the ones that's in the, we good, bro. We got this truth. We got the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. We good out here, man. You understand? It was funny, they really think that we the ones that's bugged out when they bugged out, man. And that's the joy of it, man. Cause we gonna get the last laugh, and that's gonna make it better, man. All right, cause we gonna say I told you so. All right, it's gonna be, listen, it's gonna be the greatest and biggest I told you so in the history of I told you so's, man. You know? And it's gonna be that much better, man. It's going to be that much better, straight up. All right. So it says, for after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. It pleased the Most High Yahweh by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. So that goes and shows that, you know, it shows the Most High that we have faith and we believe. All right. It pleases the Most High to look like fools out here to these people, man. You know, we look like fools out. We look like fools. We look bugged out, right? In these garments, right? Talking about America's going to be destroyed. All right, nuclear fire is coming. The mark of the beast is coming. The RFID chip. Famine and death and hell. Esau going into slavery. We're saying all this and we look like fools to them, but it's the truth, right? Little do they know it's the truth, right? The elect know it's the truth. The elect going to hear it and it's going to resonate in their ear. Like the scriptures say, thou shalt hear a word behind thee, right? And it shall tell you this is the way, right? That was all of us, man. All right, we were all led by that voice, that spirit, which is the spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, right? All right, so now let's go to Revelation 7, right? Because the whole point, right, you know, of this lesson, you know, I was getting into it, you know. Israel, you know, is the saying of the sea, but only a small portion, all right, of Israel, all right? 1/3. Like we read in Zechariah the 13th chapter, starting at the 8th verse through the 9th verse, right? 2/3 of the nation of Israel, 2/3 of you Negroes, you Latinos, and Native Americans are going to be destroyed, but only 1/3 is going to be saved. That's the elect. That's the few that's going to receive the world to come, right? And all the few is everyone that's of the elect. They're all Israelites, man. All right, let's prove that, because you got the 144,000, right, which is 12,000, all right, Israelites from each tribe, right? You got 12 tribes, right? And then you got 12,000 from each tribe, all right? 12 times 12 is 144, right? So 12,000 times 12 times, that's 144,000, man. All right? So every prophet, all right, in this world, all right, every true prophet is an Israelite, man. All right? Because the scriptures talk about the true prophets, which are the 144,000. They're all of the nation of Israel. They're all Israelites. So an Edomite can't be a prophet. A Canaanite can't be a prophet, right? A Cushite can't be a prophet of the Lord. If you're not an Israelite, you're not a true prophet of the Lord, man. You understand? Because if you're not an Israelite, you're most likely teaching a false word. You are teaching a false word, right? Because only the true prophets, which are Israelites, are teaching that only the nation of Israel can be saved, which is true, man. Because to be saved is to be delivered from impending danger. And those that are going to be saved are going to receive the next world to come, which is only for the nation of Israel, man. You see? All right, let's get into that. Revelation 7, man, because it talks about the 144,000, which are the true prophets of the Lord, which they're all Israelites, right? Every 144,000 prophet, right, are all Israelites, man. There's no true prophet outside of the nation of Israel, man. All right, there's no true prophet that's of the nation of Edom, right? There's no true prophet that's of the nation of Canaan, right? Come on, man. Right? So it says right now, let's read it, Revelation 7, and we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. I got printouts and all that. We're going to get into it, man. All right? It says Revelation 7:1. It says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners. All right? This is Revelation 7:1. All right? It says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth. All right, the winds represents destruction. All right, they're holding the destruction back. I mean, they're not going to allow the destruction to happen until the Most High gives them that word. All right, because the angels, they carry out the work of the Lord. When the Lord tells them to, when the Lord tells the angels to do something, they carry out the work. Whether the Lord tells them to destroy something or to save something or whatever, man. Right? It says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, which represents destruction, right? That the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree, all right? So the Lord is telling the angels, all right, don't bring this destruction, right? Don't bring these nuclear missiles. Don't bring the famine. None of this, all right? Until I tell you so, right? Again, it says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw in another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. All right, until the elect is sealed, all right, the destruction is not going to come. All right, until the 144,000 is sealed, the destruction of this on this earth is not going to come. The famine is not going to come. All right, the hell, the anguish, the sorrow, the misery, right? The nuclear missiles are not going to hit this earth until the 144,000 is sealed, man. All right, and we going to keep reading to show you, man. All right, but I'm going to start at verse 1 again, all right? You know, sorry for the repetitiveness, but, you know, this is how I believe you get understanding, right? So Revelation 7:1, it says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Again, the wind represents destruction, right? So the angels are being told, hold the destruction back until I tell you to bring the destruction on this earth, right? So it says, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So all the tribes, all right, all the 144,000 are of the nation of Israel, all of the tribes of the nation of Israel, the Negro, Latino, Native American man. What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm loving you.
All right. All right.
Hey, give the family my respect.
All right, it says, verse 4, it says, and I heard the number of them which were sealed. And there were, what's up, bro? How you doing? All right, big dog.
Remember them.
I see you.
See this?
Mm-hmm.
70 years old.
All right.
I've been in Lakewood for 40 years. I stopped because I'm just visiting and I see them. But I love you. God got you on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Is you on the YouTube or something?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube.
What you is on YouTube?
Go ahead.
I don't know how to do it. I'm 7.
That's all right, man.
But I'm
about
gonna follow
to show
you.
Go ahead, bring it up. Bring your phone up real quick.
I don't mean to interrupt your message.
Nah, you good, bro. You know, that's what we out here for.
Right,
Whatever you got questions, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
I'm 70 years old. I don't know nothing about this shit. What I need to do?
Let me see if I can get you real quick.
Thank you. How old you, young man?
I'm 36.
God bless you. I'm 70.
Appreciate you. All right, look, you got YouTube right there.
All right, do it. Put you on my thing.
I'm about to right now.
I'm gonna follow you and I'm gonna share you with a lot of other people because you're worthy. You are worthy. You're a leader, and you're what this town needs. And I thank
appreciate
God I come through here right now. I'm a paralegal. I'm a lawyer assistant.
That's
you.
me right there. I'll
All right, then
subscribe.
put you on my phone. Put you on my phone.
All right, I did.
All right,
I
now
subscribe.
watch how I do for you. Watch how I do for you. Mr.
My name is Kasai. Kasai.
Spell it.
C-H.
Oh, it's C, not a K.
Yeah. C-H-A-A-S-A.
And it's on that page.
Yeah.
God bless you, young man. And you Muslim?
No.
What are you?
I'm an Israelite.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You original.
I'm an Israelite, yeah.
These Jews don't understand.
We the real.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna follow you to the point. Is it anything I can contribute to you right now? I don't have much, but I contribute something.
If you want to,
I want to. Everything in my pocket, that's all I got.
I appreciate you,
That's
dog.
all I got.
I appreciate it.
If I had more, I'd do it.
All right, so this is me right here. All right, look. Let me see if I can.
I'm following you. Make me follow you.
Yeah, you good. I got shit up there. Make me follow.
I ain't gonna walk over. I'm gonna have you come and pick me. I'm an OG.
All right, that's me right there. All right, this is my page right here. You can barely see it because
Can I contribute to money to your page or something like that? Or I have to get in touch with you? I can send a message to you and you can hear me and then
Yeah, you could send a message to me in one of the videos and I'll read it. So we got the videos right there. Look, we got the videos right
I ain't gonna move it.
No, you good, yeah.
I ain't gonna move it because I gotta go.
All right, big dog.
But I done seen you
I
here before and I
appreciate
just never had this opportunity.
I appreciate
And
it.
ain't nothing.
Well, next time I come out here, you should have a conversation.
My name
Come out here
Robert
and talk.
Jenkins.
Robert
I'm
Jenkins.
from down south.
All right.
My parents,
Where you grow up?
Georgia.
Georgia.
So I know all about the Jim Crow. I know all about them. All right.
Yeah. Well, next
I
time
know all
I'm
about
out
you.
here, we gonna have we gonna talk. We gonna get into this
I love
knowledge.
you, man.
All right, big
My
dog.
name Robert Jenkins.
All right. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right.
I thank God he meets you right now.
All right.
That's real talk.
I appreciate you, man. All right. Man, that's the spirit, man. All right. So let's continue on. All right. Let's get Revelation 7. All right. Again, we're gonna start at the beginning. All right. Revelation 7. All right. It says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor on the tree. And again, that wind represents destruction. All right, so the Lord is telling the angels, don't bring this destruction, all right, until I tell you to bring destruction. Hold this destruction back, you know, because the angels carry out the order of the Lord. When all hell breaks loose, that's the angels doing the work of the Lord, doing the bidding of the Lord, all right, when it's time, right? So it says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servant of our gods in the forehead. So again, all right, and the servants of God, all right, are talking about the 144,000. You'll see that as we keep reading, right? Until they're sealed, right? Until the Lord, until the Lord says, all right, boom, they sealed their mind, right? Now bring this destruction, right? And that's talking about the 144,000, which each of the 144,000 are all Israelites from the 12 tribes. All right, 12,000 from each tribe, right? Which are the true prophets of the Lord, showing you that the prophets of the Lord, they're not of no other nation, man. All right, all the Israelite prophets, all right, in the Old Testament were all Israelites, man. They were all the prophets in the Old Testament were Israelites, man. They were never of any other nation, and that's how it is today. All right. It says, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. All right, so the 144,000 are from the tribes of the children of Israel, man. Which the 144,000 are the true prophets of the Lord. They're all of the nation of Israel, man. You can't be a so-called Caucasian man talking about I'm a true prophet of the Lord, right? You can't be a damn Edomite talking about I'm a true prophet of the Lord. You can't be an Edomite teaching this word. The word of the Lord was only given to the nation of Israel, man. You can't be a damn Cushite teaching this word. Come on, man. All right. So it says, of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. The tribe of Joseph, all right, is talking about the tribe of Ephraim, which today will be the so-called Puerto Ricans, all right, which is the tribe I'm from, all right, which in the Hebrew, it's Aparium, all right? I want to mention that real quick because people be like, well, the tribe of Ephraim is not in there, right? It says the tribe of Joseph. The tribe of Joseph is the tribe of Ephraim, right? Matter of fact, let's prove that. What's that, Numbers? All right, Numbers 3, I think, number 3. All right, 2. Numbers 1 and 32. It says, Numbers 1 and 32, it says, of the children of Joseph, namely of the children of Ephraim. You see? So the tribe of Joseph is the tribe of Ephraim. All right, because Ephraim and Manasseh both came from Joseph. All right, which Manasseh today will be the Puerto Ricans. And Ephraim today, I misspoke, my bad. The tribe of Manasseh today will be the Cubans, all right? And the tribe of Ephraim will be the Puerto Ricans, all right? The tribe of Manasseh and the tribe of Ephraim are brothers, man. All right, the Cubans and Puerto Ricans are brothers, man. That's why they have the same flag. They both came from Joseph. See how spiritual that is? Man, that's one of those signs that the Lord set up, man. Right? Because Joseph gave birth to Ephraim and Manasseh. And today, Ephraim being the Puerto Ricans and Manasseh being the Cubans, man. And that's why they have the same flag, because they brothers. It's just different colors, man. You see? Come on, dog. All right? But let's keep reading. It says verse 9, all right? Because you got the 144,000, which are all Israelites, right? But then you got the great multitude that follows behind the 144,000. Now, this is where people get tripped up, right? Because they read about the great multitude that follows behind the 144,000 in verse 9. And it tells you that that this great multitude is of different nations, right? Of kindreds, peoples, and tongues, right? So they think it's talking about literally different nations and peoples and tongues. No, it's still talking about Israelites, all right? Because the Israelites were scattered amongst all nations. So it's not literally talking about all nations. It's talking about the Israelites, all right, first and foremost of the elect, all right, that were scattered in those nations. And we're going to prove it, man, all right? So let's read it, all right? So this is Revelation 7 and 9. It says, after this. So, Apostle John, he's seen the vision of the 144,000, right? 12,000 from each tribe, right? And then after that, he said, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So when people see this, right, they get tripped up. So now they think because it says all nations and kindreds and tongues, right, and peoples, right, that now everybody, all people of different nations can be saved, right? Nah, man. First off, the Israelites were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, right? So let's prove that, right? And that's why also Yahweh Shai said, matter of fact, we gonna get it. Let's get it, man. Right? Let's get Matthew 28. Matthew 28 and 18. It reads, all right, and Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Yeah. Why did he say go to teach all nations, right? Because the Israelites were scattered amongst all nations. He wasn't literally saying go teach all nations, man. All right? He was saying, the reason why he said go teach all nations, because the Israelites were scattered amongst all nations. So he was saying teach the Israelites that are scattered in those nations, man. Let's prove it, all right? Let's get Deuteronomy 28, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 64, right? It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. So the Lord is talking to the Israelites, I'm going to scatter you among all people. That was one of the curses, right? It says, and the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. So we were scattered amongst all people, the Israelites, from one end of the earth to the other, right? So when Yahushua said, go and teach all nations, he wasn't saying to literally teach all nations. He was saying to teach the Israelites, the elect of the Israelites that were scattered in those nations, man. All right? So it says, and the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone, right? So, again, you know, when the Lord said, go and teach all nations, he wasn't literally talking about all nations. He was talking about the Israelites that were scattered in those nations, right? So now when you read in Revelation 7 and 9, right? When it says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, right? So those all nations are talking about elect Israelites that were scattered in those nations, man. You understand? All right, let's prove it further by going into the Greek, right? So, right, because it says, let's get it, right? Right, because it says all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, right? So let's get that word kindreds, and we also going to get the word people, right? So the new, you know, when you if you know anything, right, the New Testament, right, was translated into the English language, all right, from the Greek language, right? So the reason why you go back into the Greek language, all right, is because when you translate words from the original language to another language, those words lose power. So you go back into the Greek to see what the scriptures are actually saying. So when you read Revelation 7 and 9 in Greek, right, the word there for kindreds, right, because the Lord said all kindreds, I mean all nations and kindreds, peoples and tongues, right, were gathered together, all right, and received what? They stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, right? So let's get that word kindreds in the Greek, all right? The word, I got it printed out actually here, right? The word kindreds, right, in the Greek is phule. It says phule. It's pronounced phule, right? And the definition is, right, it says right here, all right? It says, in the New Testament, all persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. You see? So that's the definition of kindreds, all right? That's the definition of phule. So when you read all nations, all kindreds and peoples and tongues, right? It's still not talking about all, it's still talking about Israelites, man. You see? Right? But let's prove it even further, right? Right? Let's prove it even further, right? Let's go into the Greek word for peoples, right? Because again, it says, verse 9, it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds. We just went into that word kindreds, right? Phule, which means people that derive from the patriarch Jacob, which would be Israelites. So all those kindreds are Israelites, right? So it says of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, right? So now let's get that word. It says of all nations and kindreds and people, right? So let's get that word for people, right? The Greek word for people, right? It says laos, right? And then it gives you the pronunciation, laos or laos, right? And then it says, right, biblical usage, right? It says a people, all right? People group, tribe, nation, all right? All those who are of the same stock and language, right? So all these people of different nations, right? Kindreds and peoples, right? They're all of the same stock and language, right? Come on, man, right? But when you go further down, right? When you go into the Greek lexicon, right? It says right here, it says the people, right? Let me see. I don't know if you can see it, right? It says right here, right? It says right here with my pointer finger at, it says the people of whom God has chosen for himself, selected as a peculiar, all right, selected as peculiarly his own, all right, which are the Israelites, all right? Who's the people that God has chosen for himself? The Israelites, the people whom God has chosen for himself, right? Selected as peculiarly his people. And then it gives you Matthew 2:6, which is talking about the nation of Israel, bro. Come on, man. So all these people of different kindreds and peoples and tongues, right? Because the Israelites were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So they eventually took on the tongues of the other nations. They were speaking the tongues of the Gentile nations, man. Just like we're speaking the tongues of our enemies of the other nations. We speak English. We're not speaking our language right now, right? All right. So when you read Revelation 7 and 9, it says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and with palms in their hands. So all those people of all nations, kindreds, peoples, and tongues, right? It's still talking about Israelites, man, right? And let's get other scriptures that show us, that the Israelites were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, right? So let's get Ezekiel. Let's get Ezekiel 36. I got a precept here, right? Ezekiel 36, right? Oh, crap. All right, Ezekiel 36, right? Let me put this away real quick, right? All right, Ezekiel 36 and it says Ezekiel 36 and 19, it says, and I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the country. So the Lord scattered us among the heathen nations. It says he dispersed them amongst the countries throughout the four corners of the earth. So the Israelites were among all nations, under every nation. And when the Lord gathers us, he's going to take us from those nations. That's Isaiah 11, man. Right? It says, and I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to their way and according to their doings I judged them. All right? So the Lord scattered us among the heathen nations. We were scattered amongst all nations. So when Yahushua said, go teach all nations, he wasn't literally saying teach the other nations, every nation. He was saying teach the Israelites that were scattered in those nations, man. Right? And let's keep reading. All right, it says, and I cried with a loud voice. It says, and I cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our power, all right, which sitteth upon the throne unto the Lamb. All right, so now let's get Isaiah, right? Isaiah 11, right? Which shows us, because these are all this great multitude is the elect, all right? Which are all Israelites being gathered out from all nations, man. The Lord said when he comes back that he's going to save us from all the nations. He's going to gather us from all the nations that we were scattered to. This is what we're reading in Revelation 7 and 9, man. Right? All right? And Isaiah, the precept for that is Isaiah 11. Right? Let's get it. All right? It says Isaiah 11 and 10. No, I'll start at 11 and 11. It says Isaiah 11 and 11. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, right? Which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. So the Lord is getting ready to gather his elect that were scattered, right? In all these places that he's listing right now, right? It says, and he's going to recover the remnant. Again, it goes that remnant again, that small portion. That few that's going to receive the next world to come, right? It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcast of Israel. You see? All right? And gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. You see? So the Lord is getting ready to gather his elect from the four corners of the earth, which were scattered from among all nations. And that's what we're reading in Revelation 7 and 9, man. It's not literally talking about all nations and all kindreds and peoples and tongues of different nations. No, it's still all talking about Israelites, man. You read earlier in Isaiah 45 that Israel is his elect. Come on, man. All right? But you know, Lord willing, you know, that's the lesson, man. You know, Lord willing, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Raptazai, this lesson was edifying, was edifying, man. You know? Lord willing, you was edified, all right? So I want to say, Kol Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Kwitash. All right? Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book of the Bible, man. All right, so with that being said, until the next one, shalom.